world where skills are tested and winners are crowned. Awaken your inner competitor as you dive into the pulse-pounding action of BullRush. Imagine yourself in the heart of the financial market, where every trade is a thrilling opportunity to outsmart your rivals and climb the leaderboard. This isn't just trading. It's an electrifying game where strategy, knowledge, and precision are your weapons. Join the competition, ignite your trading skills, and claim your victory. BullRush is more than a platform. It's your stage to trade, compete, and win like never before. Get ready to unleash your potential. Get ready for BullRush. Visit BullRush.com today. Are you in? Welcome to BullRush, the ultimate arena where trading becomes an exhilarating competition. Whether you're a seasoned trader or just starting your journey, BullRush is your gateway to a high-energy world where skills are tested and winners are crowned. Awaken your inner competitor as you dive into the pulse-pounding action of BullRush. Imagine yourself in the heart of the financial market, where every trade is a thrilling opportunity to outsmart your rivals and climb the leaderboard. This isn't just trading. It's an electrifying game where strategy, knowledge, and precision are your weapons. Join the competition, ignite your trading skills, and claim your victory. BullRush is more than a platform. It's your stage to trade, compete, and win like never before. Get ready to unleash your potential. Get ready for BullRush. Visit BullRush.com today. Are you in? Welcome to BullRush, the ultimate arena where trading becomes an exhilarating competition. Whether you're a seasoned trader or just starting your journey, BullRush is your gateway to a high-energy world where skills are tested and winners are crowned. Awaken your inner competitor as you dive into the pulse-pounding action of BullRush. Imagine yourself in the heart of the financial market, where every trade is a thrilling opportunity to outsmart your rivals and climb the leaderboard. This isn't just trading. It's an electrifying game where strategy, knowledge, and precision are your weapons. Join the competition, ignite your trading skills, and claim your victory. BullRush is more than a platform. It's your stage to trade, compete, and win like never before. Get ready to unleash your potential. Get ready for BullRush. Visit BullRush.com today. Are you in? Welcome to BullRush, the ultimate arena where trading becomes an exhilarating competition. Whether you're a seasoned trader or just starting your journey, BullRush is your gateway to a high-energy world where skills are tested and winners are crowned. Awaken your inner competitor as you dive into the pulse-pounding action of BullRush. Imagine yourself in the heart of the financial market, where every trade is a thrilling opportunity to outsmart your rivals and climb the leaderboard. This isn't just trading. It's an electrifying game where strategy, knowledge, and precision are your weapons. Join the competition, ignite your trading skills, and claim your victory. BullRush is more than a platform. It's your stage to trade, compete, and win like never before. Get ready to unleash your potential. Get ready for BullRush. Visit.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the BullRush Live. My name is Davin Spurrier, and today, of course, I'm joined with Trent Hare, BullRush CEO. How are you doing today, Trent?
Good, and yourself?
Pretty good. It's a beautiful Friday. We've had some nice weather here. It's been pretty cool recently, so that's nice.
Going through a little bit of a cold front in South Florida.
Yeah,
and by
it's
cold
nice.
Front, it's about 70 degrees
First
Fahrenheit.
time wearing a hoodie here on the live, so or a sweater. So yeah, you could tell it's getting a little chilly here. Once it gets to about under 80, people start wearing jackets in Florida. So. That's great. That's great. Well, we got some great things planned here for this live today. We have a special guest later on in about a half hour. We have our guest Blake Morrow coming on the pod to give some great insights. We got some really good news to talk about, and of course we have some BullRush updates. So let's hop right into some of those right now. One moment.
Nice. Yeah, while you're pulling that up, not a lot of market movement today. It's pretty quiet. We're looking forward to next week when things will really kick off. You have NFP next week, and then the U.S. election the following week, which is going to probably cause a lot of market movement. I would anticipate before then we don't really see a ton of movement leading into it.
Yeah, and now that you mentioned the NFP, we may, if you're in our Discord, you see a secret competition that we announced in our Discord. So make sure you hop in our Discord, to never miss any of our competitions. And we always do these news trading competitions, which are always announced first on Discord. So make sure you hop in our Discord and join. So
there's a lot of perks for being in there too, right? Don't you do giveaways? It gets first announcement for any of the new upcoming competitions, especially those ones that are limited. That's something that's really important to note. Is there's a cap on all of these news trading competitions, and so we were doing 250 users maximum, and now we're doing I think 500 for that one.
Yeah, those were filling up really quick at 250.
It filled up within like 20 minutes.
Yeah. So I know a lot of people in the Discord didn't see the message in time, and so we raised it up to 500. So yeah, if you're not in the Discord already, hop in there. That's the first place that we announce all those, and most of the time they get filled up before we even announce it to the public. So hop in there, and don't miss it. On competitions though, we do have some really great competitions coming up here. We have our Cryptomaniac weekend here starting on October 25th. Today, actually. So it starts today at 5 p.m. Eastern time. So in about 8 hours, we have our day traders all next week. You hear me say it every single week. We have day traders from Sunday all the way up to Friday. So make sure you hop in those.
Where you have
free.
A chance to win at the $50 prize pool. So every single day, we're giving away $50. And it's $25 to first, $15 to second, $10 to third, which is withdrawable from the system. That's really important to note. Nobody else has ever done something like this, where every day you can come in and you can win money inside of our system.
Yeah, and it's a great way to build your bankroll. And if you don't want to, if you don't have enough money to join one of our paid competitions, which are only $5 to join right now, you could win one of those daily free ones, and now you have enough to join a couple of those paid competitions if you do win one of those prizes. So make sure you hop into those day traders. Those are a great way to just earn a little bit of money every single day, and that stacks up. I think $25 a day, that really stacks up. And of course, we have our Thanksgiving trade-off competition starting at the end of this month, next week on October 31st. That's going to be $3,000. That's a $3,000 prize pool. Huge prize pool. Big. I wish I could join that. That's better than a turkey right there. Tell you what.
And for those that don't know what Thanksgiving is, it's an American holiday. I think Canada has it as well.
Yeah.
But it's mostly an American holiday, and because we're Americans, we thought it'd be fun to run that type of event.
Yeah, pretty much have a giant feast. So, our feast is giving away a giant prize pool. So enjoy the feast of a prize pool we have for this competition. And of course, we have another Profit Quest starting at next month. That's a bit out from now, so we don't need to get too far into that one. But another one that I really wanted to mention that I love, because I'm a big crypto guy, is our Bitcoin tournament, and that's going to be starting on November 4th at 5 p.m. That's going to run for about 15 days there, and you'll only be able to trade Bitcoin. Now, that Bitcoin, as everybody knows in the crypto space, is going to be very volatile during this time due to the elections and other news events, and it's been volatile recently. So this is going to be a really great opportunity to, raise up your bankroll, and that's a $500 prize pool. So
yeah, what's cool about that one is it's a tournament, and it's the first 3-round tournament that we're doing. And so because it's only Bitcoin, what we're really trying to test here is to get rid of people just gambling or punting or YOLOing inside the system, where now the only product is Bitcoin. So everybody's on an equal playing field, everybody has the same leverage, the same product, etc. And then it's 3 rounds. And so you have to place in the, let's see here, you got to place in the top 50% to move to round 2, and then in round 2 you got to place in the top 50% to move to the championship round where all the prizes are ultimately distributed. And so the chances of somebody being able to just punt, 3 times in a row to earn a prize is pretty slim. It's really going to find the best traders inside of the market. And if you look at the leaderboard right now, you can already see it's most of the people that are on top of our XP leaderboard already that are joined. You have Krishneer, who's winning, Joseph King, who's in second on leaderboard, Josman, who's on the top, Calburito's up there, and so it's a lot of the who's who best traders inside of BullRush are looking to participate. And so this is your chance to go knock them off and really claim that title. And this would be a really good certificate to go share and saying, hey, I beat all the best BullRush traders, which at this point it's 12,572 traders inside of our system, which is massive.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, there's again, I love working here at BullRush, but I wish I could
Show some enthusiasm.
I wish I could compete in these, because this is such a great opportunity here. So yeah, and of course, good luck to everybody that is currently in our October trading trials. Those are going to be ending here soon as well. And, just while we're on the topic, we mentioned this last week, but, now you can earn 25 promo credits every time you answer our daily trivia. So don't forget, that's a whole nother way to... Drink Forex. I'm going to add the Discord link in the chat right now for you. But yeah, our daily trivia is a great way that you can earn, a small amount every day. And after 20 days, you have enough promo credits to enter one of our paid competitions. So you're gonna get.
Can you share your screen, or can I share my screen? Just go over that. Yep. I want to take a stab at answering this daily trivia today. So all those people that have tune in are going to get a free shot at what this actually looks like. And so just give me a few seconds here while I connect my screen, and we'll get this started. But I'm really curious because we did add some new things to the daily trivia here recently. So let me just share that, and we will take a look here. But one of the biggest things we did add was now when you get the daily trivia correct, you get 25 promo credits. And so as Davin mentioned, you get the daily trivia question correct 20 times, and you just earned yourself free entry into one of those paid entry competitions. So you don't have to necessarily to be able to participate in paid entry. You just have to go test your knowledge. And so as we look to the future, we'll be adding more and more of those types of things where you can earn your way into competitions based on just interacting with the system. And so just give it 2 seconds. We'll be able to go and share that.
You got it.
Perfect. So I'm really curious how this daily trivia. I don't normally answer these, so
and you do better on them than me. So
I've been around.
But if you watched last week, I didn't do too well.
Parabolic SAR is best to use in probably trending markets. There it is.
I knew that one.
Got it. So a big update here, as you can see, is if you've been answering these, the layouts are a little bit different. So yes, I answered it correctly. It took me 6 seconds to use it. 86 people got this correct today. 73 were unfortunately incorrect. I earned 60 XP, but more importantly, those 25 promo credits, you can see right here that I earned them, and they're already added to my tally up in the top into my BullRush wallet. And then so what's really cool about this is you can go look at any other participant. So you can see here, historically, I've got 54 of these correct. So maybe I am a little bit better than most people. But you see a lot like 1, 5, Trader J, 69. Man, congrats to him for being in the system and doing a really good job. You can see, top of the leaderboard, Krishneer, 63. So again, it pays to just interact with the system. The more you interact with BullRush, the more experience points you get, the more rewards that you earn. And so it just really just pays off. So you see a ton of people answer these every single day. We just literally started the day and we've already had over 150 people answer them. So it's just really cool to see everybody in here testing their knowledge. And we internally yesterday were doing a lot of testing on our trivia competitions. So stay tuned for those. Those will be getting rolled out shortly, where it will be not just a single daily trivia question. It'll be ongoing trivia questions where you can earn prizes, whether promo credits or real credits. We'll be running those here coming soon.
Nice. Yeah. There's a ton of things with XP. I mean, I think XP is one of the most what's the word?
Underrated?
Underrated. Thank you. It's one of the most underrated things.
Not to
on
be
the
confused with overrated.
Yeah, it's definitely not overrated. I think it's definitely underrated. Especially, I think people will start realizing the value of it once we start doing more of these competitions that have XP minimums on them, and those will be really good in the future. But yeah, so those are.
And then the other thing is, I know we had beta launched it, and we'll get ready to launch it here again, probably early next week, which is the Profit Factor Challenge. We will be doing the Profit Factor Challenge a little bit differently than in beta. We got a ton of user feedback, so thank you guys for that. It's always really helpful. But what we'll be launching is the Profit Factor Challenge, which combines of you must have a profit factor greater than 2 or 3, a win percent greater than 60, and then an average trade P&L greater than 300. You do those 3 things, you pass it, you multiply your money, and you can go and rinse and repeat. And that's a big thing, and a big difference between us and a prop firm is we don't do the concept of funded accounts. We do the concept of pass challenge, get an instant prize. Pass challenge, get an instant prize. And so you can sit there and do that over and over. And we've seen that a lot recently. We've seen some traders sit there and do it multiple times in a row. And I know we always talk about him, but Cabarito did literally that with the challenges here a little bit ago.
We can't wait for those to come back.
he definitely liked them. Where if we go and grab his information, man, he's moving down the leaderboard. Come on, man, you got to step up that game. You were in 4th climbing, now you've dropped back 2 places. The leaderboard's getting really competitive. The more participants that we have in the system, the more competition that's there, which it's all about trading, competing, and winning with BullRush. So we're excited to see that. But you can come here and you can see all the certificates that he won. But what he was doing was exactly what the intention of the BullRush challenges were, where you come in, you take a challenge, you pass or get disqualified from the challenge, you then can go take another one. You can just keep doing it over and over and either pass or fail. He just happened to pass a lot in a row. He started with the $5 one, passed, leveled up to the $10 one, passed, leveled up to another $10 one, passed, then went to the 25s, passed. And so he just really took advantage of the system in the positive way and what we're looking for, where you can grow and scale your account that way, which is really good.
Nice. Wow, those are really good looking.
Our certificates are the best in the industry.
Too. Yeah,
hands down. Between those, which are the challenge ones, and then you have the daily competition ones, and then you have the tournament style. So, like, hands down, like, in my opinion, we have by far the coolest certificates in the industry. And what's awesome about our technology, as you can see, I can go over here and see everything about this user that I want. I can see literally, all the certificates, every competition that they've entered, all the XP, all their badges. So he's got a ton of these awesome badges that he shows up and shows out on, where you can sit here and say, okay, he's earned more than 10% in P&L and competitions 14 times. So out of taking place in 74 competitions, he has earned more than 10% 14 times in those competitions. And so you can see he's got a ton of badges. So, he's won a couple competition. He's done runner-up 3 times. He's really good at the daily trivia. And so these are just a really cool interactive thing to go show up and show out to your friends and family.
Yeah, those are really cool. And, not to throw any shade on anybody, but, I've seen some of these certificates that go around Twitter and Instagram and stuff like that, and they look like they're made on Microsoft Paint from some of these other firms. So,
Windows 95.
Windows 95, yeah, they're very rough around the edges. So I love ours. I love it when people post. So if you get a certificate, post it. We'll repost it on whatever if you post it on Twitter, we'll retweet. You post it on Instagram, we'll repost it on Instagram. We love seeing you guys post those certificates and show off your winnings. Brag a little bit. This is something that you can really, brag to your friends about.
So I just pull up the leader of our XP leaderboard, Krishneer, and this just goes to show you, again, going back to, we always go on this, is like the BullRush system. To be at the top of our leaderboard, you have to show consistency. You have to show that you place well in challenges and don't get disqualified. You have to show that you're good at the daily trivia, and you have to show that you're ultimately a winner. And so you can see here, he's answered 78 daily trivia questions. He's got 63 correct. He's participated in 78 competitions. His average place is 56. He has 6 top 10 finishes, and he's won 5 prizes and won 2 of those competitions. And so you can see his consistency is exactly what we look for in the system, where the more consistent you are, the more experience points you get, the more rewards you get. And so going in and just YOLOing and punting and getting disqualified from our competitions doesn't earn you rewards. It actually hurts you inside of our system. So for all those people that are coming into the competitions and that are new here, make sure that you're not just going in and punting to try to win the prize, because in the long run, it actually hurts you inside of the BullRush trading platform.
There's plenty of places to gamble in the world, but you don't need to gamble on BullRush. You can learn and become a great trader on BullRush. Yeah, that's couldn't have said it better myself there. That's really really great. We do have a few news stories. I have a couple news stories that I found here that we can go over. Recently, just came out that the Russian Central Bank hikes benchmark rate up to 21%, the highest since 2003. So Russia's central bank, let me pull up my screen. Russia's central bank hiked its key interest rates by 200 basis points on Friday to 21%, the highest level since the early years of President Vladimir Putin's rule, when Russia was recovering from the chaos that followed the collapse of the Soviet Union. The central bank said its release that the hike was needed to fight inflation, currently at 8.4%. We think ours is bad. Fueled by the massive budget.
Our inflation's low now. They came out and said it was low.
That's what I'm saying, but we thought ours was high at one point.
Well, it was. It was over 9 at one point. It was over 9. But the way they do inflation here is such BS. They just do core inflation.
Preach.
It literally drives me crazy every time I hear it, because it's core inflation, but they're taking out food, energy, transportation, housing, all the stuff that actually inflated, they don't include in there. It just drives me crazy. It's like,
which has the biggest inflation on it.
Well, it has the biggest impact on everybody's day-to-day lives. Like, why? I understand why they do it, because they want to do some manipulation around it and make it seem not as bad.
Exactly, especially during the election.
You're a marketer.
It's
all about marketing.
Yeah, of course. The government is one of the best marketers. It's all about marketing, and if of course you're looking at those things. I mean, just being an adult, spending money. I know what I spend the most on is groceries.
Well,
gas,
how much is your housing? Like most people's housing price, like the cost to live now. It used to be. I remember when I was growing up. And in high school, we had a good high school, and even though we were backwoods country rednecks, our high school was actually good, and they taught you the good things in life, which was your finances. And we had a financial literacy course in our high school when you were a junior. And so as you started preparing to be a senior and turn 18, they actually taught you some financial literacy. And what we always were taught was, for a house, if you were going to go buy one, do not buy a house any more than 2.5 to 3 times your yearly salary. And so if you made $100,000 in a year, do not go buy a house for more than $300,000.
Nice. So in Florida,
that doesn't exist anymore. Yeah. You literally couldn't do that.
No, so in Florida, I can afford about one of those Home Depot shacks that they sell, the pre-built Home Depot shacks.
Wait, you're trying to say you're trying to get paid more money? Is that what
No, I'm saying the housing prices in Florida are insane.
It's everywhere though. That's not just.
But I'm not going to say no to more money.
That's not just Florida, but that's in reality. That is the entire United States is feeling that pressure. And it's unfortunate, because most people are spending more than 50%. And like, if you go get a mortgage now, when I was getting my mortgage, now if you go to get a mortgage, that's what they show you is like, you can't do more than 50% of your take-home pay is to your mortgage. Whatever happened to like a fraction of your take-home
now
pay?
It's
increased, because they realize that they're never going to be able to do a mortgage for the vast majority of the people in the United States.
But financial literacy in America, just like you said, in school they don't really teach that anymore. Like, for example, I'm an economics major. That's all where I learned my financial literacy, like taking economics. But if I didn't take economics classes, because I took a few economics classes in high school too, if I didn't take those, I would have had pretty much none. And, shout out to my dad. He's a teacher. He's a high school teacher.
What does he teach?
So he teaches JRTC, but he actually runs... so he runs the... he's a lieutenant colonel, so he runs the whole program. But his class, he purely only teaches seniors, and he teaches them financial literacy. So he teaches them, how to get a house, how to get a loan, when to get a loan and
Most
when to get a
people don't know
house
that.
loan, how to get, how to even apply to college and all that stuff. And if it's smart for them to go to college, or if they want to just become like, mechanic or, something else. And he's taught me a lot of that stuff too. So I talked to some of my friends and stuff, and they're like, oh yeah, I just got a car. And I'm like, cool. Like, like when we're talking about the car, and they're like, yeah, it's a 19% interest. I'm like, what? And they're like, I got they're doing like 82 month loans now or something like that. They just increased, because before before it was 70, but now they increased it. Now it's like 80 or 90 month loans. Like, they just made another level of it. And I'm like, what's next? You're gonna have like a 400 month loan? Like, they're going crazy.
Well, people can't afford it. That's the issue. That's in my opinion, and I know I'm not the only one. A lot of financial people in the industry have been calling for this, but that is like the number one thing that is going to be a crisis here in the United States, is this car loan crisis. It's so many subprimes, because at the end of the day, just like a house, but it's different. A car you have to buy. You have to either go buy or lease it. It's not realistic to rent like it is a house.
Yeah.
And so many people go out and buy these cars, and it's crazy. I feel it's ass backwards in the United States half the time. It's like, you drive into some neighborhoods, and a neighborhood that when my wife and I first started dating, I moved in with her, and she was in these townhouses outside the city a little bit of Chicago. And I looked up the prices. It was about $70,000 at the time to buy one of the townhouses. So not the best neighborhood, I would say. It was
Pretty, it's a deal. It's a value. It's a value.
As a single woman, I don't know why she lived there, but together, all right, we lived there. We were safe. We moved out. But the irony of all that is you drive through, and people were having like $50,000, $60,000 BMWs, like Mercedes, like their cars were equally as expensive as what it costs. Like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah.
Like, and going back to the point is, like, they need to start teaching financial literacy in these places. And if they did that, people would realize with the CPI numbers, where they pull out all of this stuff that's actually causing the inflation, people would be in upheaval. People would be so pissed off, like we'd have a revolution in the United States.
Well, also, and I think part of it is that, but also it's, and I'm sorry if there's any car salesmen watching this, but
we're not hating on car salesmen.
We're not hating on car salesmen, but car salesmen are very predatory.
You're gonna hate on the car salesman.
No, look, I'm sure there's good car salesmen out there, but my first car I bought from a family member, so I didn't have to go through the whole process, and I paid them off and everything. But I just recently bought a car, and they were trying. I came into the car dealership with a really great loan from my bank, and they were trying to pitch me on like a 17% loan and stuff like that. And the way I think I talked to my friends who maybe isn't the most financially literate, and he recently got a car loan too, and the way they pitch it is they just tell you your monthly payment, right? So they're like, oh, you can have this new a Supra or F-150 or something, and don't worry, you're only going to pay $300 a month. But what you don't know is it's 19% interest at the highest amount of months. So you're going to be paying that off for like, I think 6 years or whatever. And now you're looking at it, and now it's like a $20,000 or a $30,000 car after the loan is actually now $50,000, $60,000, and that you're not thinking about that, because the only number they show you when you're buying in a car, and I don't know if it's like that around the world or just in the United States, but the only number they show you is that monthly payment.
Right.
Which can be very deceiving, and luckily I had to dodge and weave. I was in the car dealership for 6 hours negotiating. Well, 5 hours negotiating, and then an hour
I do. Before I bought this last car, all my previous cars before that was from off lease only, which was like the easiest place to go. I've heard about that. Yeah, you just go first. You go to your bank and you work out like what they're going to give you your lease for, or not your lease, your loan for. And then you just show up there and you basically have a check in your hand and you just get rid of it. So instead of spending 6 hours with the car dealership, you go to your bank, where typically you're going to get a better interest rate from them.
Well, that's where I got. So I got my loan from the bank. That was part of the 6 hours of negotiating. Was I came in with a loan from my bank, and they were trying to be like, no, we'll give you a better price on the car if you use our loan. And I'm like,
well, of course they will.
Yeah, but your loan is at I had a very low loan because I have pretty good credit score. So, but they were trying to give me like 17, 18% when I had it, closer to like 5% with my bank. So it's, yeah,
that's crazy.
It's crazy.
But I think we have a question here. Somebody just asked if we're going to do funded accounts.
I see that.
So We are not going to do the concept of funded accounts. We're not hashtag not a prop firm.
Hashtag not
but
a prop
what
firm.
we do have is our challenges, in our opinion, are much better. So in our challenges, you pass a challenge, you instantly get paid and get a prize. And so, for example, we have a $150 double up 3-to-1 challenge right now where it's $150, but if you win $740. And so it is statistically, it's much easier to pass that than actually earn and get paid on a funded account from a prop firm. Because think about a prop firm. Most prop firms are two-step. So you got to pass step 1, then you got to pass step 2. So you've already done it twice. Then you got to go into your funded account and you got to earn money. And for those, now you're basically pass that thing 3 times before you actually got paid out. And so with ours, you don't have to do that. You pass, you get paid. You pass, you get paid. And so one, it's statistically easier to come and pass our challenges while still proving that you are a good trader. And then 2, you don't have to wait. A lot of prop firms have either a 15 or 14 or 30-day waiting period from the time that you earn a profit to the time that you can actually go get paid out. And most of them are changing their rules these days, or adding consistency and all this bullshit stuff that you don't. Obviously, pardon my French, but all this stuff that you don't, you don't care about, but they're doing it.
PG-13. It's okay.
because ultimately, it's not in their best interest to do that. And so for ours, again, it's pass a challenge, instantly get paid. And so the idea is you can sit there and you can keep doing these over and over, and you're not having any waiting time. So you pass, it's instantly in your BullRush wallet, and you can instantly go withdraw those funds. And so the idea is we won't do funded accounts, but we will do larger challenges. Right now, the highest dollar challenge we have is 150. Again, it's 150 to win 740. And then we will be launching some $250 ones here coming up, and then we'll gradually keep increasing it as it goes. So 250, and probably we'll cap out like 500 per challenge. So it'll be like 500 to win 1,500.
Nice.
Yeah. So hopefully that answers your question. Again, not a prop firm. A lot of what we do, again, at the end of the day, is that we are a trading competition platform where you're competing against other traders and yourself in the markets. So the core of our product really is those paid entry competitions, similar to a poker tournament, where right now they're $5 to enter. And again, going back to the Thanksgiving trade-off, it's $5 to win 1,500. And so you put up $5, you have a shot at winning 1,500, and it's a $3,000 total prize pool. So the other 1,500 is divided up amongst the other place winners. And I forget what we're paying out on that one, but I think it's the top 10 get credit payouts, which is withdrawable for cash, and the other ones will earn promo credits, which you can then use to go enter additional paid entry competitions.
Nice.
Great question. We get it a lot, and we will do a better job of explaining how we are not a prop firm and how we are something just much better.
But, while we're on the topic, use code DEPOSIT100 to get a 100% deposit match to join some of these challenges. It's a great code. We've seen tons of people, like Trent said, use these challenges. Nice. See, we have our guest here. Just getting them all set up here.
All right, we have Blake Morrow. I'm really excited about this one. Blake and I go way back. He works for. I'll let you do the intro, but I'm excited about this one. When we started doing these, he was one of the first people I reached out to, so I'm excited to have him on board. He's very knowledgeable about the financial markets. I know he's been around the industry for, at this point, 25 plus years. Really excited to ask him some questions.
Can you guys hear me? Hello?
Yep. Well, while we're waiting for him to get set up too here, I do have another news story we can cover here. I think he's just getting set up over there.
Yeah, if we want to go back to financial literacy too, I'm just really shocked. I'm curious to ask Blake this question too. I don't understand why schools don't teach more of those things, like especially here in the United States. You'd think it would benefit the entire society if more people knew how to manage their own finances and manage their money. It's much more of like a practical skill for people to understand these things.
Yeah.
And I'm messaging back for them. He said he's here. He's just waiting on you to. There he is.
I see him. All right, let's get him.
Can you guys see me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear
Yep,
you.
we
How's
can
it
hear you.
going?
We can see you. How you doing today, Blake?
Hey, I'm sitting there like I'm like screaming at you, waving, and I didn't know we're not doing video, so I can take myself off video. It's no big deal. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me.
No, we are. Can you see us?
I can't see you guys,
But you can hear us.
Well, I can see your BullRush challenge screen, but that's pretty much it. So.
Oh, okay.
Hey, I've only been awake since like 3 o'clock in the morning over here. You guys are on the other side of the country, I believe, and Trent, thank you for the nice introduction. That's a good way of saying that you are a dinosaur in the market. So thank you.
I do feel old. When we first met, I was like, man, I'm the young up and comer in the industry. Now I definitely feel like the dinosaur.
That makes me a fossil then, I guess. Yeah, we met years ago. I remember having lunch at I think it was Houston's, in somewhere in West Palm Beach, I believe.
Yeah, right here. Well, right here in Boca Raton, I think you
was
were
it Boca? Yeah.
Yeah,
I love
came over with your
Housties.
family.
So it's what me and my friends call it, Housties.
Yeah. It was. It just happened to be walking distance from my trading office there.
Nice.
And I remember meeting you for the first time. So yeah, it's been a long time. We've even met up here in my hometown of Scottsdale. So.
Nice. Well, welcome, Blake Morrow. For anybody that doesn't know, he is the CEO and co-founder of Forex Analytics. He's been in the industry for over 15 years or 20 years. We're welcome. We're glad to have you here.
Thank you. It's nice to be here and with you guys. And happy Friday. I'm just happy that it is Friday. Anyway, so.
How does it impact you? Going back to you living in Arizona, how does that impact like your trading schedule? Because typically you would see like most people live in New York or Chicago. How does it actually impact you on living in Arizona?
I get up at the 3 o'clock hour every day. So yeah, that's the biggest impact. Cause I mean, obviously I can work New York time, or if I really want to, really hurt myself, I can just, stay up all night and be a vampire and sleep during the day to trade the European hours. But really, I've learned to, over the last, I guess I've been here since 2011 when I moved my kids and my wife back here to be with their family so they could grow up with their family. I bit the bullet. And I don't mind. I'm a morning guy, but yeah, I get up at the 3 o'clock hour, but my day's usually over, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So where I, can settle down after New York closes. So I have just a little bit different schedule. The problem is that most people, most normal people, they live a normal lifestyle. So if they want to have drinks or get dinner or do something after 8 o'clock, I'm usually the guy sleeping at the table. So that's a real impact.
I remember when I first traded coming out of college at Marquette Partners, they put me on the night shift. And so my schedule was midnight to noon every day because we traded the European, and similar. Like I was just dead by about 5 or 6 p.m. I was like out, crashed, like don't call me, and basically had no social life.
Yeah. That's it. I mean, but you learn, and people that you're friends with, you socialize with, they're very well aware, and I stick out like a sore thumb. I'm not, most of the people that are in the markets and do what I do, or in some of the major city centers. So people look at me and they're like, well, it's Friday night, Blake's going home early. That you already know that already. It's pretty commonplace, but yeah, I mean, I like it though. I'm a morning person, so it's I'm good with it.
Nice. I know Davin has some questions, but before we get into those, can you just give a background? Because I think it's a really interesting story that you do have. And so I'd love to hear your background, how you started, and then what you're doing currently in the industry.
Sure. Well, I was actually in college, and I had a buddy that was a stockbroker, and this is back in 1990, thinking the date, it was 1995. 95, 96. And he's like, you should, be a stockbroker. I'm like, I'm in college. I have no idea. And he's like, you got the gift of gab. You can sell. And that's what we do. It's basically what wealth managers do now.
Yeah.
So anyway, I got my Series 7 and 63 at that time. And I started at this brokerage firm, and, I was on the phone, it's like the Boiler Room. You ever seen that movie, The Boiler Room? We were doing that, just on the phone, calling. And anyway, about a couple years later, we knew a guy that he was in the insurance industry, not too much older than us, but he had done very well, and that's when day trading really took off. And I remember the magazine article from Forbes. It had Chris Burke and Jeff Block of Block Trading, and the headline in Forbes was the Stowe's Bandits. They're the guys that really started the day trading industry. And they had an office out of Houston. They had one in Scottsdale, Arizona, where I live. And they're like, they're talking about how they just make money in the markets. And this is like 1997. So we convinced this guy to give us some money, and we were going to, trade, a friend of mine and I. And next thing you know, fast forward a few years later, going into 99, we were the largest traders in Phoenix. We moved to Dallas, opened our own brokerage firm in Dallas and technology company called Centerpoint Securities. And we had developed a trading application, like a direct access trading application for banks, for individual investors and banks, because no one had. No, you think about the way people trade nowadays. Back in 2000, 2001, people didn't have access. Like you couldn't. You sit at home and I forget what the name of the company was. There was it was like Web Trader. I forget what the name was. Somebody could probably tell me what it was. But every brokerage firm wanted that type of technology to give individual investors at home the opportunity to trade the markets. And we had built the technology to connect the two. Anyway, we were doing our roadshow September 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th, and 12th in New York City of 2001 to every brokerage firm in Wall Street. And obviously September 11th, 2001 happened. And so, after that, the industry dried up. We still ended up selling for pennies on the dollar to a firm out in Texas, and so that's how I ended up getting in the currency market, because they were focusing on not only the stock market but also in currencies in 2001, 2002, when it opened the door for individual traders to trade here in the United States, to trade currencies. So I had probably one of the most diverse, trading acumen at the time. So I was a guy that they wanted to have teach individual investors on how to trade the market. So that's how I really got my start into kind of the retail side of the business, because I'd had so much extensive experience in my 20s and early 30s. Not only trading for investors, but myself, and made a lot of money trading. So, so anyway, that's really, and then fast forward 25 years, and here I am. So
nice. All right,
Yeah.
Davin, go away with your questions. I know you got a lot more than me.
No, yeah, that's a really interesting start there. Our first question, I was just wondering, what kind of your market insights and your how your strategy is going to change in the next few weeks here with the news events that we have coming up. We have PMI at the beginning of November. We also have the elections coming up, and we also have the CPI coming up a little bit after that. What is kind of your market insights, and how are you planning on changing your strategy or keeping your strategy the same during for those news events?
Well, first of all, I heard you guys curse, so let me just start off.
Yeah, I said that it's PG-13 on this,
apologies.
So
That's on me.
we allow about like 5 to 10 curse words a show.
At my old age, I'm the grumpy old man now.
Let me just say, I don't give a shit about any of the data this next week. It could jolt the markets a little bit, but really everybody's going to be starting to position for the election now. and it's going to be big. Let me state that the liquidity is going to get really bad. And this is not my first rodeo, obviously, trading elections. But if you want a good analog of what we're looking at today versus what had happened in the past, go look at 2016, see how the FX market and markets responded in 2016, and you can imagine it going either direction. Obviously, like I said, the election is all I really care about at the moment, and that's all traders should care about at the moment because it's going to have huge implications. Obviously, the market's trying to price in a Trump 2.0, and you can see it in some crypto in the crypto space. You can see Bitcoin kind of getting towards $70,000. Mexican pesos making shorts a little nervous, and to be honest and frank, a Trump 2.0 is going to have huge implications in the market. We could see massive dollar buying, not only into the election itself, but post-election, depending on if there's going to be a red wave or not with Congress. Because if he is elected and he has, congressional support, he's going to be able to be an absolute wrecking ball. And in a good, however you want to look at it, good or bad way, it's going to create a lot of volatility. Flip side is he's definitely not a 100% chance that he's going to win. People say it's a close race. The betting markets would say otherwise. Polls would say one thing. Betting markets say otherwise. I think there's a lot of potential for an upset. There's a lot of potential for two-way action. And I think if you're going to think it's one-way directional right after the election, I would beg to differ, and I think you have to watch your six, or otherwise watch your ass. Keep your stops tight. Don't go to sleep with positions thinking that you're gonna wake up the next day and it's gonna be great, because this election doesn't matter who wins. It's gonna be contested. It's gonna be drug out. The longer it gets drug out, the more incites risk aversion. Risk aversion has it could rear all sorts of ugliness out of the market, whether it's yen strength, stock market weakness, gold strength. Gold could reverse on flows. Who knows? It could be gnarly, and the dollar, it could be the linchpin of it all. So I'm just saying that it is going to be violent. And if you guys, we are traders, and as traders, I love volatility. I mean, we thrive off of it. So I'm excited for it, but at the same time, that means you pare down your position sizes, you widen your stops. You brace for that type of volatility, but there's going to be a lot of money to be made. And there's one thing that I always like to tell people in these types of situations, something I learned trading, for large firms over the last, when I first met Trent in person, I was trading for a, firm, and did so for about 4.5 years, basically trading unlimited amounts of capital at discretion. I'll just tell you this. It's okay to be wrong. It's just not okay to stay wrong. So, we all make mistakes. No one trades perfectly. Hell, I'm right maybe 50% of the time when I'm hot streaking. So knowing that just alone, if you're wrong, just get out. It might be the right idea, but the wrong time. So just get out, reassess. You can always get back in. That's what traders do.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned the Bitcoin thing. When I was doing some research, because we always talk about news at the beginning of the show. When I was doing our research for the news today, I came across an article. It was a research price analysis of Bitcoin by the Standard Chartered Bank, and they pretty much did a price analysis of on election day and after election day for Bitcoin, and they said on election day they expect Bitcoin to be around $73,000, and then if Republicans sweep Congress, they expect it to go up to $125,000, and then if Harris wins and Democrats sweep Congress, it'll be around It'll stay around $75,000. Is the Standard Chartered Bank's price analysis on Bitcoin. So I thought that was very interesting.
That is interesting, and I'm going to use, there's a few instruments that I'm going to use that I might not even trade, but I'll be using them specifically for, what I'm going to do in the markets. And that is going to be the Mexican peso, the Canadian dollar, Bitcoin. Those are going to be like my real big indicators on whether I trade them or not, which I tend to trade the Mexican peso quite actively. But I think that's a very binary election indicator. Again, you don't have to be an FX trader to look at it, but in the most pragmatic way, if the Mexican peso is selling off, that means the dollar Mexican peso is rallying. That is indicating a Trump win. I mean, just because you got Trump's going to be really hard on Mexico. Tariffs wise, there's a new government, and he's going to try to step all over Miss Scheinbaum or President Scheinbaum over there. So you imagine Mexican peso is just going to get demolished. And the flip side is if the peso is rallying, the market's starting to look at, hey, Harris might actually, pull this thing off, and we would see a big recovery in the Mexican peso. That means the dollar Mexican peso would drop quite aggressively. So that's a good binary, just a very pragmatic look at the markets, through the eyes of FX. In my opinion,
I'm curious. Do you always trade the Mexican peso, or is it just now around the election due to that volatility that if Trump wins?
No, I always trade the peso. I'm a big peso trader. I've been trading peso quite extensively, probably the last decade or so, and I don't always have my hand in it because it is a high carry cost, especially if you're buying dollars, selling pesos. You're paying the cost to carry, but when things are going good and over the last 6 months, you could buy the peso and sit on it and short everything else and carry a little interest. It is kind of nice, but it's a real good because of its high beta moves. You can really if you're an active trader, it's a good trading product for sure.
Nice. Before I get to my next question, we do have a question here on our live chat here. Someone was asking, what do you focus on more, fundamentals or technicals?
That's a good question. Well, first of all, I look at if for anybody that's been following my work, and I've been doing live broadcasts for literally since 2002. We used to actually have a 15-second delay. So in other words, we called it an internet delay. When I first started doing live shows, people all over the world would listen, but it was a 15-second delay. I would say something and I'm like, okay, just your charts are 15 seconds behind mine and you're hearing me 15 seconds late. And people that know my work know that my charts don't change. I've been looking at the same stuff for the entirety of my career. It's so basic, but it's what works for me, right? Yeah. So do I look at charts? Does that factor into what I do? 100%. But the fundamentals, or what some people would call maybe the macro backdrop, or having some theme or idea of what to do, that is always my base case. So in other words, I always think about like I'm a chess player and I'm playing chess against a lot of very skilled people. I'm always thinking 5-7 steps ahead, and I'm thinking from a macro point of view or a fundamental point of view what I believe is to happen. And then I use my technical prowess, if you will, my, almost 3 decades of experience of looking at charts. I actually learned how to draw Fibonacci ratios with a protractor in my hand. So that shows you how I used to actually print them out. It would take me 3 hours to print out charts in 1998, like a fax machine. I'd have to print out 300 charts, and then I'd do all my Fibonacci work with a protractor. So the reason why I'm telling you that is because I use a chart like a map. And so if I have a fundamental or macro backdrop that I'm following, I use my charts to say, okay, well, how am I going to play into that theme? Where's going to be my best way to enter the market based on, I'm really a dollar bull, or I'm a stock market bear. Where's going to be my best entry point? Then I'll use my technicals to figure that out.
Nice. Yeah.
That makes sense. I think a lot of traders these days do exactly that too. It's like you have to sort of pay attention to both, and just focusing on one or the other can get you into some sort of trouble.
Yeah, it's, first of all, let me say this. I can teach a monkey how to read charts. Anybody can read a chart. I mean, the most that's your low barrier to entry into the markets. And it's an argument that you're going to hear from a lot of people that don't have a lot of experience in the markets. They're going to tell you, well, price doesn't lie. It's like, no, it doesn't. But I can anticipate a move well before anybody else because I know what's driving the move. Or, I can anticipate a turn a lot quicker than anybody else in most cases because I'm thinking about what's the driver behind what you're seeing, whether it's positioning, whether it's sentiment, whether it is you're in a simple retracement of a trend. How am I going to play back into that? Well, I have a strong case that it should play back into that trend. Why? For all the reasons I could, just rattle off and tell you. So again, most traders that I meet they're like, well, price doesn't lie. It's the charts. The charts are the charts, and the move is the move. There's a lot more to the markets than that. And when you figure that out, your profitability tends to go up a lot more because you realize that you can actually, see the move happening in real time and knowing where the turns might be. And I think it's really eye-opening. But again, this isn't a 1 year process or 2 year process. This is I started in this business 28 years ago. So I mean, it's taken decades, and I'm always learning things. I'm always learning something new. I don't know everything, and every time I think I know everything, I'm quickly humbled by the market. So. And you're constantly learning how to practice best practices in risk management because, it all boils down to where you're entering. You can have the right idea, wrong time, like I said earlier.
Yeah, and it's funny you mentioned humbled too, because you see that a lot, or I see a lot with traders. Like having worked on the brokerage side and the back office, I get to see a lot of traders and how they trade, and you can see exactly that. Like traders start getting on a win streak, especially new ones, and they're trading really small size, they have a lot of winning trades, and all of a sudden they like quadruple their trading size and go all in on a trade, and then lose it, and then try to figure out, oh my gosh, what went wrong. It was because you got greedy and you didn't stay humbled, and the market is always going to humble you in that situation.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that. And so, one of the things that I've learned maybe over the last decade, I've become more efficient at is learning that, when I'm streaking, like in a hot streak where I'm just on and I'm synced up with the market, I totally have really just and there are those times where you're just jiving with the market, you get it all. Those are the times that I usually am most cautious, and I have to start paring back my size. And a lot of people do the opposite. They get too aggressive. They get too cocky, and that's when they get humbled. And for me, I know that there is a point where I have to back away from the markets where, if I don't, I'm gonna get carried away, and I start being a little too loosey goosey with my, what the things that I'm looking at and my rules, my risk management, and that's all a part of the learning process. And I think if you talk to anybody that's been in the markets for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 50 years, they're going to tell you the exact same thing that I'm telling you is, we're always trying to polish our process and go back and look at our mistakes, because if I go back and I can realize I made this mistake because I did this, and this, the chances of me doing that again in the near future are much less. So, it's kind of like, I stick my hand in the fire and I'm like, ow, that was hot. I'm not going to do that again for a while. And you do that enough times and you're like, you make those mistakes less and less and less. That's why going back and critiquing your bad trades are so important, because you're not going to make that mistake next week or next month, while it's still fresh in your mind. And the more you do that with yourself, the less you make mistakes, because we always do. We are humans by nature, and we all get stuck in FOMO. We all get stuck in, I'm too good, and I've got this market beat. Nothing can beat me now, and that could be nothing other than the truth than that.
Nice, yeah. we talked about kind of the micro, with coming up news and how the market's going to react to the next few weeks. But how do you see the future of trading, and how do you see the landscape of trading evolve over the next year or two, or even longer?
That's a great question, and I'm gonna say something that I recently heard from a friend of mine who trades out of New York for a big firm. He's like, "Man, I'm bullish on trading," and me too. And here's the reason why. We've been in this grind higher and risk for a long time, and I want to say that because of COVID and the reaction of not only our central bank but other central banks. I think it postponed what I thought was going to happen 4 or 5 years ago, or maybe 3 years ago, is going to be happening here soon. Probably post-election, going into 2025 and beyond. And the head economist from Goldman Sachs said this week, David Kotak or Kostich or whatever the hell his last name is. He's like, I believe we're going to have 3% returns in the S&P for the next 10 years. And I personally think he's being a little bit too optimistic. I think we're going to be in a very, very rangy sideways market for the next decade. The boomers, if you will, and I'm not a boomer, I'm Generation X. I'm in my 50s, but my parents and that generation, or the boomer generation, they've stole from all of us, from Generation X and below. And this expansion in monetary policy and loose monetary policy for so many years, since 2008, thank you to Alan Greenspan and company and beyond, Janet Yellen, Bernanke, you name it, is probably going to put us in a very, very large range where the S&P is trading from call it 6,000 to maybe 4,500 for probably, what we might have a lost decade, what a lot of people are calling a lost decade. I thought it was going to happen, 2020, but COVID happened. So obviously that was, who would have anticipated that? And what we got is, this, balance sheets just ballooning around the globe, which obviously propelled the markets higher. But I do think that we are going to be in a range bound environment, which is phenomenal for traders. But if you're an investor, you're going to have to be really good at finding companies. Being a stock picker. We haven't been stock pickers for 20 years. There are no stockbrokers. There's wealth managers. Wealth managers are all they do is they're sitting in a bank. At your local bank, you got a wealth manager that's sitting back there, probably making $150,000 a year. He looks at people's deposits when they come in. He's like, oh, this person has a $500,000 account over here, and they got $1 million account over here. So I'm going to sell them and try to bring them in. And then when I bring them in, I'm going to put them in these ETFs that just track the market. That shit ain't going to work anymore. It's not going to work. And we are going to have to be much better stock pickers and much better traders. So when you ask me, how do I feel about our industry in the years ahead? I'm very bullish on trading. I'm very bearish on investing.
I'm curious. I don't know if you look at the Stokes at all, but that reminds me literally of the Stokes, where it has not made a new high for the last 25 years. It's in 2000. It set its all-time high, and it's still below that.
Yeah, and I think that's a systematic issue of God, it's early in the morning here, but I'm trying to think of the proper term. And there's been a lot of talk about this in recent years. It is the whole world is following, just the ETF flow. It's like, oh, what are you going to do? I'm just going to put my money in, manage funds. Every algo, every fund follows the same prescription, right? And it's just it's crowded. And I'm not a person that doesn't believe in in humans, and I'm not a person that's going to tell you that we're going to have a crash and it's all going to hell in a handbasket. No, I believe in them. I believe in the United States. I believe in America. I believe in human ingenuity. I believe that we are going to consistently be moving forward with space and technology and yada yada yada. But you're going to have to be really selective on where you're putting your money. for a while, you know.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. So we've talked a little bit about the past or the future. Now let's go into the past a little bit. BullRush, we have winners every single day since we run daily competitions. So we love to celebrate people's wins and everything. What are some of the, not necessarily the biggest risks you've taken that ended up turning profitable, but what's your biggest success in trading? What's the thing that you're the most proud of in your long, past few decades of trading? What's the one trade or one thing that you're the most proud of or your biggest success?
That's a good question. Both. Well, I mean, I was long during the .com bubble. Some really, really aggressive positions, and so that's what got me got me my start. And I was young and dumb and didn't know what I was doing. So I mean, I just fell in. It's kind of like being in some meme coins. It'd be the same story 20 years later. So I'm sure a lot of people fell into that. But I wouldn't say that's most proud. I mean, I'm definitely not most proud of that. I was definitely most lucky. I think I can't really put my finger on. I mean, there's a couple where like there was the flash crash and back in was it maybe 2012 or some 10. I happened to be short a bunch of yen pairs. I've traded the yen quite aggressively through interventions and when Miss Watanabe, and the carry trades unwound, where I've really called that right. During the 2008 financial crisis, I sat and told our community for 6 months prior. I'm like, look, if you own real estate, it was the big short, but I didn't know how to take advantage of it. But I feel pretty proud that I was like, just do the math. People can't afford, all these homes. They just can't. It just didn't make any sense. But like I said, I didn't know how to do the big short trade, which they obviously made movies about. But I'd say I'm pretty proud of myself because I tend to put two and two together really well for our traders in our community, and I have over the years, and I've always guided them in the right direction, and that's why I have traders that I've literally met in person that have been with me for 2 decades now. That when people come into Scottsdale that are traders in our community, that we usually get together and we'll have drinks. And if I'm out in New York or if I'm wherever I'm at, I've met a lot of people in person that consistently have been in my community for, like I said, some of them years, some of them decades. And so putting my finger on any one particular trade, it's hard to do, but I tend to be around for those big moves, which has been good.
And do you want to give your community a plug? I know you've been hard at it, and I subscribe a lot of times to it and tune in. But what do you actually do on a day-to-day basis? Like, what is Forex Analytics?
Well, Forex Analytics is an analytical platform, and yeah, thanks. It's an analytical platform that we provide analysis, pretty much 24 hours a day via mobile app and of 30 different instruments, not just currencies. We have the DAX and Boons and the 10-year and S&P and Bitcoin and other instruments, crude oil, gold, silver, that are in our 30 instruments that we follow. But the heartbeat of what we do is really in our chat room. And we have a really diverse team, over 10-man team and a lot of analysts that are in our chat rooms all day that have decades of trading experience on trading floors, when trading floors actually did exist in London, and trading desks on yen desks for decades. We have traders like that are part of the Forex Analytics team, and so we do that all day long. And then we have free broadcasts too. We have a free broadcast that Trent's very well aware of. We broadcast every single day, and a lot of the people that you see on CNBC or Bloomberg, we bring them on after we're done speaking for 30 minutes. We bring them on kind of like this, and we have a lot of great people that will only be on CNBC for 2 or 3 minutes. We'll have them on our Face Show. It's called the Face Show every single day, every trading day. And like for example, we have Melody Wright. She's a big real estate person. She's coming on Tuesday, and she's going to tell us, like all of our traders, about the future of the U.S. real estate market from her point of view. And she's on a lot of like Blockworks podcasts and stuff like that. So, but we do a lot of that every day, and it's free. And so yeah, we have a really great community. So thanks for asking.
Of course.
Nice. Of course. And we'll make sure we add a link to your website and your community down below in the description for this.
Thanks. Well, I love what you guys are doing here at BullRush, and I want to thank you for having me on as a guest.
Of course. Thank you for coming on. I learned a lot, and I appreciate your insights there, and it was nice meeting you here. And
next time
enjoyed
it's in
talking.
Boca, you can meet in person.
Next time what?
Next time
There
it's
we
in
go.
Boca.
Oh yeah. Next time in Boca, come by and we'll meet in person.
Well, I definitely will avoid your neck of the woods in the summer and during storm season.
It's
sure.
actually nice right now.
Yeah, right now
It's like 70 degrees every morning right
Yeah.
now, and like only gets up to 81, 82
so
Fahrenheit.
everybody's wearing winter coats because it's 70 now in Florida.
Yeah, that's I live in Arizona. We're still in the 90s during the day, but right now it's in the 50s. So I even have a jacket or a vest on myself. So
Nice. Yeah.
we are wussies when it's sub 65 degrees. We all wear mittens.
Oh
just
yeah,
like you.
same thing in
Sure.
Florida. Yeah. Everybody's wearing it. I'd say probably once it gets in the 70s to 60s, everybody's wearing winter coats and mittens and beanies and stuff. It's really fun. Yeah. I'm from Germany, so it gets really cold there. So when I first moved here and I would see people in winter coats, I was so like perplexed. Like, what are you guys doing?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. But it was
All
great
right.
having you. I can't wait to speak again with you, and I hope you have a great day and happy trading today.
Yeah, good luck over there at BullRush. You guys are doing some great stuff. So thanks everybody.
Thank you.
All right.
Yep.
Thanks,
Have a
Blake.
great day. Bye bye.
Good day. That was really good.
That was a great interview. Yep, I learned a lot, and I know he has some really great insights, and with
That's why it's always
decades
good
on.
having like true professionals on.
Oh, yeah.
As we continue to do these interviews, we always want to keep it professional and have people like Blake on there that can really pass on that knowledge. Where it's not, I've been a trader for 1 or 2 years and I'm successful. Let me go sell a course. It is I've been in this industry for decades at this point, and yeah, I provide that information, a lot of it for free, as he was mentioning on a daily show, just like what we do here. So I love seeing people like him give back to the community.
Yeah, it was really great. Well, we're almost done here. So just wanted to make sure everybody follows us on Twitter, BullRush Comp, Instagram, BullRush_comp, and then YouTube, BullRush Competition. Also, the market may be bad, but I slept like a baby last night. I woke up every hour and cried. That was my
What?
joke of the day. Sorry,
What?
I should have preferenced it that it was the
Wow.
joke of the day.
Say that again. Maybe I just missed it.
The market may be bad, but I slept like a baby last night. I woke up every hour and cried.
Got it.
I need to see. That's what I'm saying. I need one of those laugh tracks. I need the laugh track button.
Yeah,
but,
we need to get the little soundboard.
yeah. Well, it's been a great stream. I enjoyed talking to you, and I enjoyed talking to Blake. And I hope everybody has a great day. Hope everybody has a great weekend. And I'll see you next week. Bye bye.